bibi betime si e wo Ghana ha to ho na mo bia de go do president Kufuor anim mesma papa wotiwe e ma ne ko second lady wo se bi anti Ghana yesi se obetuma sori anajo
asase we ya edema Otibonsu no eye dia ene edema no owo nkrata nyina kire se
yemafo nyina kwaba once again emra dwumadie so honorable Kennedy Akompeko Agyapong yankupra Mr. Oti ananso yebehwa one Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia ne ukeni Samira Bawumia abusuafo enya ntawantawa bi efa asase ho ensem no abusua Mr. Oti aye press conference atcheche nsemu ne side of the soil no ode atudware no chi no ensem bebre ena eba quick one yanko nafie no yankonko ensem a etodwa ewo ho na ye ba eberi nkomo enfasa kwan so na yemo strong voice network yes ohini kofi onim se obey honorable Kennedy ye pa ena chese ode coverage ebeto ntenten so ema omani nyina ehu bi enti yebeba na baso kese pa commander ohini kofi obodwuma enti ehwia na afi no ense ma subscribe ama no a strong voice network ohini kofi yes obodwuma party quick one enhwedi nyina mra na ye ba ensem ho
Mr. George Otibonso, and right on my left is Mr. George Otibonso. This morning we called you here to lay the facts bare to the many stories that you've been hearing and the different sides that have been told. The many sides that have been told. So today, the 22nd of April 2024, it's a press statement concerning a demolition of 10 houses, and we stage setting the record straight. There have been various accounts circulating in the media regarding demolition of the 10 buildings. It is imperative to address this misinformation. Mr. George Otibonso acquired the land in question in 1992 from the Anokwe and Tuaka families of Teshin. Subsequently, the Accra Boy Doku family obtained a Supreme Court judgment to which Mr. Bonsu duly atoned tenancy. However, litigation ensued when Winchester Empire contested ownership in the High Court Tema. Concurrently, the land was also under litigation at the Accra High Court. Amidst these legal processes or proceedings, one Hajia filed a case at the Adenta Circuit Court. Hajia applied for an injunction to prevent Mr. Bonsu from proceeding with his construction. Mr. Bonsu's lawyers entered a conditional appearance in the Adenta Circuit Court case and notified the court that the ownership of the same land was in dispute in the Superior Court, that is the High Court. The High Court in Tema ruled that having given Mr. Otibonso permission to proceed with construction, a lower court cannot vary that decision. So Mr. Bonsu proceeded with construction as the court directed him. The case on the same land at the High Court Accra against Mr. Bonsu was dismissed and all parties were advised to join the suit in Tema. Hajia, however, secured a judgment in her favor at the Circuit Court when all those involved in the litigation were also in the Tema case. Upon learning of the judgment favoring Hajia, Mr. Bonsu promptly filed a stay of execution and appeal. Concerns arose regarding Hajia, supported by Abu Ramadan's intention to demolish the building unlawfully because they claimed the land belongs to their sister, Samira Bawumia, the second lady, prompting notification to the Inspector General of Police, IGP, who deployed patrol team to ensure law and order. The CDS was also informed that his men were being used for unauthorized land activities. Former President Kufuor also intervened, asking Mr. Fredowari to engage Abu Ramadan. Abu Ramadan told Mr. Fredowari to give him a few days to speak to his dad, who wants to build their family house on the land. He proceeded with the unlawful demolition without heeding to former President Kufuor's advice or action through Fredowari. The demolition was executed with excessive force, including police and military presence, forcibly entering the property, confiscating phones, assaulting individuals, and preventing residents from calling the police at 1 a.m. Sunday, 7 April 2024. We possess evidence demonstrating that the court did not authorize the said demolition, as Hajia's team was duly informed of the pending motion in the court. The unauthorized demolition underscore an abuse of power, political power. The time and day of enforcement of the possession order itself smacks of illegalities. If they knew they had a genuine right to possess the land, why come at dawn with policemen with no tags, name tags on, and also vehicles that had their number plates removed? It will interest you to know that the police service sought clarification from the Adenta Circuit Court regarding a stay of execution, leading to the decision not to assist in the possession order. The involvement of individuals in police and military uniform with Abu Ramadan's team raises concern about the rogue elements operating outside official channels. If the police did not join in the possession, which individuals in the police and military uniform joined Abu Ramadan's demolition team to the premises? Does it mean individuals have their own police and military men who openly defy the orders of the IGP and CDS? Are we safe in a country where any individual can run his own police and military? Is the Ghana Police Service saying that all the street cameras from Majirigano to the Jubilee House are not functional? It is surprising that the National Security hasn't begun investigation into this, because this is how it all starts. If not contained, it could lead to something more disastrous. This time, they could mobilize 30 men to demolish buildings. Maybe the next time they would be emboldened to mobilize more men to cause more mayhem in this country. We are all aware of the rebel and terrorist activities in our sub-region and our neighboring countries. Hajia's documents on the said land were purported not to have been given to her from the two sources: the Okponwe family, Ibrahim Brobe's company, who is Ibrahim Jaja. The Okponwe family affirmed that at the time of Hajia's purported purchase, a court injunction prevented land sale due to family head issues. Furthermore, the document presented by Hajia contained forged signatures and pertain to the land outside the Okponwe family jurisdiction. One Sarah Fokua alias Mame, Jaja's former wife and Osomampe's daughter, said she told the second lady, Samira Bawumia, through Ibrahim Jaja's company, sold it to her. At the time of this sale, Ibrahim Jaja and his company had no right to sell land for the Okponwe family. And as said earlier, Okponwe family land falls outside the jurisdiction. Official documents from the Lands Commission contradict the search results presented to the court by Hajia and her team, indicating that fraudulent documents were presented to court, which we will prove. We are all aware of the housing deficit in Ghana currently and how wide it is. Therefore, who in his rightful senses would demolish such property except for state power and political expediencies? We call on all state agencies to investigate the above demolition exercise, since one Charles Edem Adugo, lawful attorney of Hajia Aisha Ahmed, said on radio, specifically at Sempa FM Ekosi, saying on the 8th of April 2024 that he was part of the individuals who carried out the demolition exercise. Attached are the various documents for your perusal. Now, in my hands, I possess here the search we conducted at the High Court, at the Circuit Court Adenta, dated 9th of April 2024, which we ask whether the court registrar sanctioned the supposed execution of the court judgment that took place on the 7th of April 2024 at 2 a.m. They said no. Whether the supposed execution party of military men or military officers from the Ghana Armed Forces were accompanied by officers of the court to wait a bailiff. They said no. If yes, they should kindly state the name of the bailiff. They said no, they were not involved. Whether the court or deputy sheriff authorized to carry out execution of judgment, etc., on a weekend, specifically 2 a.m. on a Sunday, they said no. And on the radio interview on the Kosi saying, they said they were accompanied by police, and they mentioned the head of Liga, Director General Liga and Prosecution, to be the one who gave them military or police personnel to accompany them. Now we have in our hands a search by the police, which indicates that the police also was aware that there was a stay of execution filed, but still they claimed that they were accompanied by them, which we doubt. Now this is how it also went. It read, whether or not the judgment was and has been delivered in the above mentioned suit. They said yes. Date was given. So whether or not an application for writ of possession was filed, they said yes. Whether or not application for writ of possession has been granted, they said yes. Whether or not a notice of appeal has been filed, they said yes, it has been filed. Whether or not a stay of execution has been filed, they say yes, it has been filed. Any relevant information, they said no. Now we have in our possession an official search from the Lands Commission as well, which nowhere from the PVLMB, which is the commission itself, to LRD, the Land Title Division, and SMD, the Survey and Mapping Division, all these three areas, there was nowhere captured in it, as purportedly said by the said Edem, that they have a land title. Nothing reflects so. It is the grantors of Mr. George Otibonso who have their name reflecting in all these areas. Lastly, I have in my hands a ruling delivered on the 26th day of January 2023 in the High Court, Tema, yes. Now, it will amaze you that Hajia is the 5th defendant in this suit in Tema and was legally represented by Samuel Kofi Nati. Samuel Kofi Nati represented her. Now, I read, this is the ruling of the court. It says, once the Superior Court granted 4th defendant, it will interest you members of the press to know that the 4th defendant here is Mr. George Otibonso, permission to continue with his development on the land, and based on the order, the 4th defendant continue his project. A lower court, in my respective view, cannot purport to injunct him from going onto the land in dispute. The 4th defendant may therefore continue with his project on the land if he so wishes. Meanwhile, the motion for leave to file statement of defense is granted as prayed. Plaintiff is given 14 days to file a reply. Suit to take its normal course. Judgment granted by Justice Emmanuel Ankama, Justice of the High Court, Justice of the Appeals Court, sitting as an additional High Court judge. Now, this was delivered on the 26th day of January 2023. So the question is, if a High Court has given a decision or has given a remark on a matter, how then do a lower court, a circuit court, come to vary the decision of the Superior Court? Thank you. We'll also be between no dear Mr. Kusi be so we'll also permit the families to give you their version of the matter, which will also give you a very clear view of what the issues are. So Mr. Kusi from the Mr. Kusi be country and orienting Yamaka no obebonu tofaso or the betwaso and Mr. Ben Kusi Membra na Mr. Kusi be Mike no Mr. Kusi bra me fan bo ta de no muso ansa bo So Mr. Kusi represent the Anokwe and Tuaka family. And Mr. Kusi we are one way for us to beba Mr. Kusi.
The friend Ben Kusi said a medical can. Now we are a businessman, and I'm saying we work construction company, namely Bendi Pacific Limited. And a family be from ni Anokwe and Tuaka. I will teach you. Almost the Ajengan of Walk Court, 1992. Now, the dear Sam said, I had near Ajengan of War assassin, Nahayo Tano. The dear Sam na family for from Accra Boy Duku family. Almost a case as co-defendants. The dear Sam na 2015 and a judgment by the judgment and by a comma co-defendant no say Utano Omodia Nemum Anokwe to Aka for no assembly by no Omatna Hanum for decades. Inti almost saplom de buy no yenye composite plan. Now your mom possessional interest, our possessional rights. Inti omotifri akrabo doku denu. Ena inti family no eti omo ho ase, omo nya eteshi for ntokwa ni omo ntam. Inti ko ba say ye betwira ha nyina na fitafo na wa. Na Mr. Otibo so aye fence wo e wo ho nyina say nipa ye ne dia na wo mra na ye hu ni documents dem say Otibo so bai e na ode ne tete documents a ye busua no dia ma no dadaada ansa na ye court no e de be kire yin ti ye de kwa kire busua fo mpemfo no mo say no kore ye na nanu ma wu no bi e na sign e ni ma men sane aje fie no enti ye ka kire ne say je say yes ama no paper foforo ye kire say abusua na nya judgment na ginatum enti ohu abusuafo no otueska emu odue ema abusuafo no na omusa ma ne krata enti ye ne abusua no any police the true petition call headquarters no my police ina be tu fitafo no nyina ifra asase so ema Otubo nso say onye na adwuma enti ogusu aye na adwuma ye de enim say asase no enye obi ade a eye Anokwe Ntoaka ne Akorabo Doku ene wotumi e wo so ena omsa botu so ehu say Akorabo Doku fo atima ye title no osako hu wo mo esa age krata afoforo efiri Akorabo Doku fo enti asam tenteni ni tia wo nyina ne say asase e gina so yi Ghana ha baby a records nyina wo e lands commission uko lands commission ko ye searcher aha asase no e Anokwe Ntoaka uko land title Akorabo Doku e wo title ho the same bushemi ni ya ye court ye judgment tia agere Ghana fo no ye na aha ye dia aha nye upon we for asase ye no mbo hye be nuru ha enti kakra meka nyina ne se asase we ya edema otibo nsu no ye dia ene edema no owo nkrata nyina kye se ye dia na court no ewo tema ye de koma ye ne akasa ye lawyer aye Farouk Seidu Alaji ya odi anim ene ye je judgment no asem no tu kwa chai one justice waka baby owie no na ofiri ho na ode ma Justice Tanko ya ne we high Supreme Court judge ansana Justice Tanko so de ma nti Farouk fare ko tema ya yedi asa no tema no obi so about say ajenga na for de ma intimidia na ene so yakọ ho a Accra because tell that kam kodi adanse ewi ase no judge ne say se yedi asa no tema de emfa ni nyina ko tema haji asoso ede na sembaye ene soso ye ka say omu nyina mra tema ya haji ano ni power factor ni holder no soso ene lawyer nyina batema nti ye nwanwa say yen ka mi shemu na tema judge so amatumi say misabusu ensi ni dan if you say otofri the rightful owners no na haji akoje judgment abrasem no nim say ye di wotema no be court kituamu akoje judgment say wonya judgment abraye nim wo hwe tie nim say default judgment omunya no ena omo say ne judgment no by test whatsapp bebere mi so otibonsu be ka kire ye no ne esa ko ye lawyer ho ene lawyer file stay of execution ene o sa file appeal ya serve o mo nim ni nyina nti e mo say ene akoba say omo sa e ba ha anadwo omo di kan ba ha ena ye frame so tibonsu na mo so tibonsu be hia omo na ono omo kasa ya na soja fo ni nyina ko e enti omo ko ye no na mene Alhaji Madingo eye chief yo hinin ona ye aboko bi zongo chief osan ye wiase nyina chamba for president enti me ka che nam say Alhaji adi yakwe Muslim community enti ko second lady ho nene ne nkokasa peniampa Alhaji di o say yo ena ko second lady ho eye current vice president Bawumia ne Dr. Bawumia ne yere te Alhaji ko ye no ena one ne yere ko hia edi hu komo na de Samira ne Alhaji meeting no ekosi ye no me de be ma Alhaji no no aka na matibi se eye se omo be ye se adwuma ya ana se mi ame do ka kire me na making se adentina Mr. Bonsunim se ha ono na ne ye konso o court dadaada na ye mara mehunu ena Alhaji ka kire ne se ye nim se ye wo if you say one hajia bi hajia no so ma court da ena ne na kola no so a wa man power factor ne oba court wotema se se ye asem nyina akotema o ka kire Alhaji se so nim se ne sabonsu nim se ha o interest na one ye na eko a adentina ya ma me hunu enti yen ko ne Samira bio ene e be ka kire bonsu oba ya oba kan ne be am sabonsu ene bonsu ye ne se yen san ko bio yen ko book appointment ono so ye ready so ono be trans ne ahia enti Alhaji ko ay ko hu no ma o hu se bonsu dia no ena de asi nti na kakra me woka
so yebe tie Mr. George Otibonso interventions are oyeye any jumedi odi a odi be prevent say the unfortunate incident na malensi no obebo ne tofa nkrofo ni omudi nkomo nkrofo afrefre no nkrofo akonfirm ni ama kire no and yes, ye building keke, ye nimia nice so.
Yo medical achia mu nyina na the SE the SE ade bia ye nyina mfantu ye hofo ebetmato me ebetmato na se eto yonko a ofin se o de o ye free mo ye hwe ho asem na nye asemihia ma o man Ghana se obi betimi de mra ahye ne nsem anadwo akoye adwuma ne ono pede a na ye wo nima pi da ye nimu a bibi betimi si e wo Ghana ha nti ye friends and show for e ba ya dan na ye miankasa medan ba you say sunkwa ne ensu ade dan o mabubu no something like say abu Ramadan who say ni din wo mu no who say first lady so second lady esu din wo mu no me sma papa wotiwe e ma ne ko second lady wo say bibini a me na me so omo ene wo nti ye ntena ase so pedan ko on fat dan no se me boa papa neti wo no so obi gina chire no ko se bia mantu anamon bi se me MPP ni ese me ntina mai sa dia na wonya kro no wonim ne woka se mtu ho na mon bia de go do president Kufuor anim ama ofre Fredo wale se Fred to anamon wo mame ama Fred Fred Abu Ramadan ka chere Fredo wale se yemra na emeka ndi asem na ne fada wo police na okoto obeto asase no na obebubu no na de si ebusuafie kan se mo si ebusuafie dia ene mo kan nipa na mo si fie no mo nche na makoma the power bit my no nti yes o mangana se o mangana meme de diato me no abet ma to bia nti Ghana yesi se obit ma sori anadwo national security ntimi emfa wo maya na some media you a long way to go nti mesemu nyina se anamo bia mitu ye by obia anka ho hwe na duru sa pempen so yi nti medamu nyina se mekase meka ma dia chi na me pese me kyerem se mitu ho na mo by the tumi ye no na aye no ya mu nyina mo hu no nti medamu nyina se.
Okay, commander.
Yeah, director.
Baby I didn't do no I did.
Yeah, no crap director.
But me problem ni say Samira na busuafo.
Okay.
Omo responsible for sadie we no. I think say achew so omo ba bonten omo nso be kan omo die o.
Yeah,
anya say asem no abonten di amanfo be bu ogu omo so.
Yeah, director, I know there no crap. You didn't catch it mu bia. Director, no. One shiny year, so on camper.
Yeah.
Why do you say a unnecessary so about Tabacasa because and now Bontina most of us.
Yeah,
right, no crack. But as some young said, the more now some a wabontia, yan two side, you know.
Yeah,
the writer it will be like assume say the wabontin one the only story or what they are, and you'll be able to because there is no other story be a ever. To do be we open the kakra, a man for it me. I tear wasam, I tear other part of some. Now, my father can say you saw sense of judgment. I didn't want to cry was even. Tear for baby did not cry about and Kababwa, audience and Ghanaians in our
Samuel Masemka and a down on the press conference, tear to go now.
Yeah, no correct.
Now, you who almost side of the story. Yes, indeed, maybe I didn't do no idea. Yeah, I know idea, but I do baby and a brilliance, yes.
Right, I send be say no, crying a minimum. And Kayet Nipa. Come you know me and say we are combo because personal issues, private issues. Yeah. But there might be no too many say involve some politicians. Yeah, politicians. No, so we are in election year. Yeah. Until affect your man. Eba is friend is a political story. Yeah. And until any my idea who room kaka. Yeah. And yes, I write a sebuka. Obi abra about body. And Kenya dia a discussion. Yeah. But assembly say in the long run, a huge project. At the end of the day. Ghana for being a year adwuma ho a omonsa call ma no e na wo ye no si nchen right e bia sika no anka odi invest we be from a anka obenya mfaso
nti amanfo ka se o ade no e bia omunnim nipa asase na nkasa na ye ne dia but se omuko bu ade no gu ye no
of course
nanka bi amobetumi afani we some means bi ama sumduaba
yeah right no
danse bi a omukọ se property no na asa akoya asem
eno de duru ba bi a asefem anyway so obi a o se de osie na de obi ho a se bi o ne ne ya de a ofom na omfa nchew eno wo ho ye ntiase ene obi a personal life but eduru ba bi a the writer yen hwe current situation a se bi omo ye involve no omo wom because say ba bi aba ne de otan ene ba beto mpanfo bi ntem because right Agyapade say de say a nipa no wonto ne nchia no okoto no so amanye ma wunyini because ade a ode ye wo no na eya similar to no so beto onim say woni ne ntam asai nto ne woni twaka bia but at the end of the day problem wo mu nyina ne say bi o kan nyese Samira Bawumia na busu afọ ye MPP fo a Dr. Mahmood Bawumia eye o makonta ono na MPP flag bearer ye Mr. Otibon so eye obi odi ni sika wura MPP ma ono ona bo Kennedy sana ma anka asemu enye topica e be discuss on national media houses any ade so right because e be say at the end of the day e be effect our election so no dey we should all accept it
sa e be ha Bawumia
right no cry wo me say be ha Bawumia sa asemu ya nsiesie amfiri wa e be ha Bawumia
na se nyon no a eye ne yere busuafo
right ni nyina ne say ahyase na asem ne baaye no na nipa bebre e ka so Samira Bawumia ennim asem ne ho bi eye ne bra ene ne swan sensibility Bawumia de onka ho bi enye Bawumia film the right obi o MPP e be yi Bawumia film say ye nya nipa mienu miensa na omo ne Otibon so enko solve problem but other political parties said ye be omo so ombe gu Dr. Mahmood Bawumia ni mase anasa said ye be omo so ombe nya bibia gya so e dia campaign yie no the election there sanity
o cheze ebia azemi abase no e ba say ma other political parties so ahoden ebia the lives of movement mo NDC people mo o eni ampa say politics insanity
obi kura betima aka de edi agro it said they na no chama untumi three year akoy okeke kan sem bebre but obi abetima aka me de edi agro but e beton krofo bitrim ena obi o ka de edi agro but said obesi aka no right obi fra asem ne hontoma aka ne inewu a nhunu say a joke but na asem aka o ka ne joke but we fra hontoma people will take it as serious matter esi the right no kra nya me ni mentwe Bawumia mewuram but so far as Bawumia na ire Samira Bawumia abusua ene ye involve no de the brother indirectly akonta obati ho asem bio samakwa ware wo fie bim na fie na amaware mi se be miye ni monyamfo a me pe o man nyina di so a the brother me ka asem kire makonta ana me nkonta ne me nsenu ma omo betie nti eduru ba bia people will start questioning Dr. Mahmood say enti asase no na sika sen kwa na bi abu Ramadan ana haja ande toya say bi Dr. Mahmood Bawumia ne mperefo ne ntimi nkasa na bi o mu ntwentwa compensation ana mposa asena na ope na ade a o mu ntimi nka na bi a o mu hu ko mbefa so say bi bibia be solve in a peaceful way akwakodru state nti won say ba be propaganda nse be wet akose o within party na nkasa ne abusuafo ekon nti how much more the whole Ghana nti a kire say Bawumia ba o ntimi solve o man ni nyina issues
de ko die
oba putu ne family ewo one side na we jai o man to baabi
na say
family welfare ni hia no sa na obi
we say o se ka Bawumia de ne na si fom now the ohwema bibia because basa o luzu anu no
the writer
because Kennedy nkofo no mo so mo nkoto abama
the writer say baby a Bawumia ho be kire no ehun say Honorable Kennedy control more than 1/3 of MPP executives we omo koto aban delegates no obi a delegate be executive nti 1/3 of MPP executives because from police station to the national 1/3 of them Kennedy control how much more grassroots nti a kire say basia said the assembly so Mr. Otibon side no because nipa o won anim ese Mr. Otibon so o ye MPP no Otibon so ne nam Honorable Kennedy nti everybody on the camp no osu the chair Kennedy Agyapong ene ne nkrofo nti to be like a Kennedy against Dr. Mahmood Bawumia me wanka narration nya sa na o say but say abesa e Kennedy nkrofo nyina will vote against Bawumia na wankoto nso at the end of the day effect effect Dr. Mahmood Bawumia so na the writer say any effect of Bawumia so na nyina nkomra no MPP na be sofa nti mi bi say the whole we have the men the whole party we have the men Adechi we have the men we are not ready to hand over power we have the men any common issue the writer asase kakra yes sit dan yes so e was ye solve we say any dia no party muani nyina am claim say omo over 4 to 6 million registered members no o man timan solve asem we have the men Tama untumi Stephen and Tim the writer mpanifo within the party and national executives the writer omo nyina combine any cabinet plus president or your party member sabi and the vice akonta and nsem right omu nyina ntima form na yansi form am asem the situation na dru the right baby akodri they said the abanyina says what Mr. Otibonso Mr. Otibonso is being public is being like Obabonte publicly
the one is
been out to say obeyi ne nsem ni nyina pie so that Ghana for Obabonte be hu de wokom na nsem nyina no onu no hia public no
yeah
and they are fighting
they koso no Honorable Kennedy o mekasa anazo onye dinsha
the writer no kwere nya mianim ni asamwe Honorable Kennedy me side there me hu ni say ehu hia so obekasa
okay
the writer ni nyina ne say
onye dinsha
Honorable Kennedy also remain silent
yeah
because at the moment obako ka bibi say pe but bebe nyina ne say Honorable Kennedy mom ene hihye ase say omoma asam ne nya kakraka ebi ananka asam ne nya say onye wana narration nya say onye din
okay
the writer onye din because we enye asema obetimi abam publicly to the onyai right minim say asem no eyemra ti say Mr. Otibonsu dibem say odifo say Hajia Abu Ramadan ene Samira Bawumia omudibim omudifo right ehode yegusu di nkomo because asem we no eyemra ho asem entimetra hanka de pe nti asem ne ba ne yentwa so ye di nkomo pa ewurawura mpanifo no obi aso ya epese ehu no kra ne yie ebi eda
okay
ansane yakasa because every day obi e claim ne de nti right ye be ja to ansa na yakọ because ye nkomo ni nsi
okay
ye ba biema
okay
but ye be kyerɛkyerɛ niam mu ye
ye ba biema be kyerɛkyerɛ niam mu ye na bibia I fine ti quick one I bright media de wasi ye be san ba biema akra mu nyina